At this point, I am genuinely convinced that two separate people run Tim Sweeney's Twitter, because some days he loves Linux and loves the Steam Deck, other days he thinks Linux isn't worth supporting and wants nothing to do with Valve. I don't know what Tim Sweeney thinks. I don't think anyone can work it out, but I'm not here to delve into his thoughts. I want to talk about something he actually said. So now that both EAC and Battleye are working through Proton, assuming the developer of the game actually enables their support, someone had a very simple question for Tim Sweeney. Hey Tim Sweeney, just a quick question. Any plans to update Fortnite to make Proton/Wine be compatible with EAC and Battleye anti-cheat on Linux? Now, Fortnite is a really weird game. Firstly, it makes use of two anti-cheat systems, both EAC and Battleye. The other really weird thing about Fortnite compared to something like New World, like Apex Legends, like Destiny 2, like Rust, like any of the other games out there that make use of an anti-cheat system, Fortnite is one of the few games that has a proven playability and proven interest on mobile. The game is literally available on phones. Now, usually when a question like this gets asked, you get one of two responses. First response is you don't get a response, you just get ghosted. Second response is, yeah, we're working on it, might come at some point in the future, we're not really sure, some sort of corporate speak to make you just go away. Maybe it'll happen, we don't really know yet. Instead, though, he said this: Fortnite, no. So flat out just says, no, the game will not be available on the Steam Deck. But there's a big effort underway to maximize EAC compatibility with the Steam Deck. So basically, we're gonna make EAC work better on Linux. And yeah, we understand that. There's a lot of other games that are using EAC that may be enabling it. Now, you might not care about Fortnite, and that's totally understandable. But this is a really, really popular game, and a lot of people buying the Steam Deck are going to buy it with the assumption they can play the games they want to play. And if Fortnite is one of those games, you probably want to play it. But considering that Epic are the developers of EAC, I'd expect them to want to show off the system they're trying to sell actually works. And Tim Sweeney is constantly talking about the fact that he supports open platforms, he supports competition, all of this fun stuff. It seems really strange to me that Epic wouldn't want to make their poster child game available on this new system. And if it stopped there, I wouldn't be making this video. But someone had to ask the question, why not? And Tim decided to give a very interesting answer. We don't have confidence that we'd be able to combat cheating at scale under a wide array of kernel configurations, including custom ones. And someone replies by saying, newsflash, CEO does not trust his own product. With regard to anti-cheat on the Linux platform, supporting custom kernels and the threat model to a game of Fortnite size, yes, that's exactly right. Now, I could easily say, Tim Sweeney bad, Tim Sweeney hates Linux, Tim Sweeney is the worst person on the planet, and Epic is evil. But there's plenty of subreddits that are going to do that, and there are plenty of people in the comments on this Twitter thread that do that. I want to break down what he actually said, though. So when you want to support something on Windows, iOS, macOS, or any of the consoles, these things make use of multiple kernels, but they're known multiple kernels. So if you're running Windows 11 version X, you know exactly what kernel is going to be available. If you're running iOS version Y, you know what is going to be available. This means that the range of possibilities is considerably more confined. As a developer, because these systems are locked down, you can very easily say, this is what I need to support, and this is all I need to support. On the Linux side, however, that's not necessarily the case. While someone running, let's say, Ubuntu 21.04 is going to have a specific kernel out of the box, there's no reason why they have to use that kernel. They can go and compile their own kernel, they can download some custom kernel, they can use whatever kernel they want, and there's no way that you can easily predict what every single system is going to have when you literally have access to the source code. And that absolutely allows for a lot of freedom. But the scary thing there is there might be some weird edge case configuration where EAC gets circumvented, but also isn't tripped. Now, I don't know if that actually exists, because if I knew, then I guess I would be selling cheats to people, but there is a possibility that can exist. And at the scale and complexity of something like Fortnite, I can totally understand why that may not be worth the risk. It should be evident that Fortnite is a massive target for malicious actors, and any cheats that are discovered under a Linux system could be incredibly valuable to people who want to sell them. But there is a very simple solution that doesn't involve not supporting the Steam Deck. Just don't do it. Don't support custom kernels. Only support a small subset of kernels. Obviously, the Steam Deck kernel, but maybe you want to go and support various versions of the Ubuntu kernel, maybe the Arch kernel, the Fedora kernel, things like that. And how would you go about doing this? Well, make it so the game will only work if you're using Secure Boot with a signed kernel, or even just do something as basic as using a checksum to make sure the checksum aligns with these validated kernels. There are plenty of means to minimize the number of variables if that is what you want to do. Now, obviously, this isn't the best solution for the Linux users themselves. This severely limits the amount of choice you have available and will limit the distros you could actually play on. But if your goal is just supporting the Steam Deck and not supporting Linux as a general platform, this completely eliminates the problem. With all that being the case, though, there is still an elephant in the room, and that elephant is Android. What makes Android different in this scenario? Because Fortnite is available on Android, and it isn't locked to specific ROMs or specific kernels, or even just non-rooted devices. And once you've done something like that, this offers just as much control as desktop Linux, and over on that side, everything is totally fine. It'll work exactly as you'd expect, and amusingly, Android is based on Linux. I wish I could give you an answer why it's different, but Tim never gave one. And if I was speculating, basically the only answer that anybody is getting to is that Tim Sweeney just doesn't like Valve and doesn't like Steam. Because clearly, it's possible on these systems, you just don't want to do it here. Now, while Fortnite is the biggest EAC and biggest Battleye game, it is by no means the only massive title using these systems. We'll focus on EAC because that's the thing that Epic actually develops. Games like Apex Legends, Lost Ark, Dead by Daylight, New World all use this as well. And to promote its usage, you'd expect the developer to stand behind it, and when the developer of an anti-cheat system like this doesn't show confidence in it, it doesn't show confidence to the other developers making use of that project either, regardless of the size of their individual projects. Now, regarding the whole Epic doesn't want to support Valve thing, Tim did say this. Epic would be happy to put Fortnite on Steam. We wouldn't be happy to give Steam 20 to 30% of its revenue for the privilege. Supporting the Steam Deck hardware is a separate issue, but the market for non-Steam hosted games on limited availability Steam Deck hardware is how big exactly? Now, this is actually a totally fair concern. I don't know why he went with the whole anti-cheat may not work properly on Linux. If he just said, we don't know if it's going to be financially viable, no one would have really cared. This is a totally fair statement. Other companies put out basically the same thing. But this is what I was saying at the start. I have no idea what Tim Sweeney is thinking. I don't know what he's going to say next, and I cannot read the man's mind. The whole EAC situation has been pretty messy, and I don't think it's going to be resolved by the time the Steam Deck actually comes out. I hope it does get resolved at some point, but I've said before that I'm not super hopeful. At least when it comes to single-player games, most things work pretty well. There's a few exceptions like Persona 4 Golden because of codec stuff, but everything else, for the most part, I would emphasis on most part, works well enough. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Were you interested in playing Fortnite on the Steam Deck? Maybe you've literally never played the game. Maybe you live in like some weird underground cave and have somehow never heard of the game. I would love to know. So if you like this video, I'm going to go and like the video. And if you really like the video and you want to become one of these amazing people over here, go check out my Patreon subscribers, only Pay link in the description down below. I've got a podcast called Tech of a Tea, a gaming channel called Brodie Robertson Plays. That's going to be it for me, so I'm out.